Today's session is what's new in Nearpod, and I'd like to go over this morning just all the new things that I've seen have been updated this year, and maybe even a few that were updated towards the end of last year that you might have missed if you haven't been using Nearpod much this year. So as I mentioned before we got started, I'm Jami Gardner. I'm a trainer at the Utah Education Network, and I'm also the product manager for Nearpod. Basically, all that means is that I try to keep you updated on all things Nearpod, and I'm the point person here at UEN for our Nearpod contract. So if you have any questions, if you have teachers who maybe aren't being able to access the full resources of the Premium Plus account, or if you have any questions, would like training at your schools, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to come out and help you out with that. If you're not really sure who the Utah Education Network is, and you just, were forwarded this email, the Utah Education Network, we provide your internet service, is kind of the big one that teachers know us about, but we also help with your internet security. We have a Channel 9 station, and we do a lot of professional development as well. So we bring UEN tools and resources to you, and we are kind of get consortium pricing for a lot of the big contracts, the education contracts for software that we have here in Utah. But I'm part of the professional development team, and we host a bunch of different courses online for relicensure points. There are currently 2 Nearpod courses that you can attend. They're open entry, open exit. They'll help you get your Nearpod certification or your advanced Nearpod certification. And coming here in a couple of weeks, we are actually going to launch a new Nearpod coach course. So if you are interested in becoming a Nearpod certified coach, then that class will be launching here in the next couple of weeks. And I'll make sure I get some information out to you about that as well. Okay, so one last thing, if you are, just joining us, maybe not from the Utah Nearpod community, we'd love to have you as part of our community. This started just this past March, and it's growing pretty quick. We are just trying to find a place where we can learn, collaborate, and share resources on all things Nearpod. We're trying to grow a lesson library. We'll be available to answer your questions if you have any questions about Nearpod related items. And we're also helping host this webinar this summer. So later in the summer, we have 3 educators from the Nearpod community who are going to be hosting and facilitating the webinars so that we can learn more directly from them. So if you have any questions about the Utah Nearpod community, please reach out to me. I would love to answer any of your questions. Okay, so what's new? So exciting. Okay, so first thing that's new that I'd like to talk about is the teacher dashboard. If you're looking at my screen right now, what you're seeing is the teacher dashboard. So I have my menu up here at the top, which is more convenient to email reports. If you like presentation view is quickly accessible now right here at the top. We can add activities and the session. We have a whiteboard. So if you are teaching and you decide you're in the back of the room, you have your iPad, and you don't want to go clear to the front, or you're teaching virtually online, then click on that whiteboard button. And now I have like all of my draw it tools. I also can add text. So if I am on top of any slide and I need a whiteboard, I can add some text here too. So kind of a cool feature that way. My draw it tools down here at the bottom are just how I'm accessing this. If I'm ready to close this whiteboard, I just click on my yellow button in the top right-hand corner and I click close whiteboard. Also, we have an annotation tool. Annotation tool is down here in the bottom right-hand corner, and this allows me to write on top of any slide that I'm on. So the whiteboard gives me a full white background, whereas the annotation tool, I can highlight, I can draw, I can enter text again. So if I'm working through a math problem and I would like to, type on my screen on the problem that maybe I have on the board, or if my students, I'm unsure if they know where to look, then I can make sure I'm highlighting that for them as well. So lots of cool color options here as well for me to be able to, the highlighter, you can just kind of see through it. So I've got my highlight tools there, my pen or my marker, my text tools, and then my eraser tool. Again, when I'm ready to be done with this, I can just click here on close annotation. Now, everyone always asks, does this stick around? It does stick around while you're in the session. So it won't last after the session, but while you're in the session, it should stick around as well. So I can just click back on those on that slide and you will see that again. So great feature there. Also, it looks like this morning, for whatever reason, my teacher and student paste mode is not showing up for me. Let me see if I can get that to show up. It was here just 2 days ago. Let me launch a new session real fast, see if I can't get my teacher. Oh, you know what? It's early, guys. It's so early. The reason it's not showing up yet is because we're not on an activity. I'm sure someone was like, furiously typing, trying to tell me that in the chat. So another new feature here, we're going to see it now, is this student teacher toggle up here. Again, I'm in the top right-hand corner. And when I'm on any activity, by default, it's now showing the student view. So remember when you used to have to join your own lesson as a student so that it was fast and easy for you to show that student view to your class? Well, now it defaults to that on any Nearpod activity. So right now I'm seeing what you're seeing as a student. And if I need to, then I can model, I can demonstrate whatever it is that I would, hope that you're going to be doing. So I can upload images, I can use my text and all of my draw it tools on this draw it activity. And then if I want to see your progress, then I can just click here on teacher view. And now it looks like I'm awaiting all of your drawings. So maybe you're participating, maybe you're not. I know this is an exit ticket right at the beginning of a lesson, just wanting to show you how this student and teacher dashboard works. So if you like to, share drawings, share activities with your students, this is a great way to do it. I would just remind you to click on that show student names button down at the bottom before you show your screen when you go from student view to teacher view. But so much quicker than the little S and the T that we used to see in the corner, so much easier than joining your own lesson as a student. We can just toggle back and forth using those controls in the top. And then I can still click here and share if I want to, share on the screen. I've seen a lot of teachers that will just click this because then this will pop up on the board for them and they don't actually share it to each screen. Much quicker to share that way as well. But if I wanted to, I can click on that share button. I can still share with each individual screen. So really love this new student teacher toggle button up here at the top on the teacher dashboard. So I think that's about all of the updates that happen to the dashboard. I might land on a few more as we go along, but let's move on to our next feature, which is the time to climb. Nice and early in the morning, we're going to test your digital citizenship skills with the time to climb. Some new insights here. The dashboard looks different. On one side, I'm going to see my student progress. On the other side, I'm going to see how they're answering the question with like graphic view. I can also see the question there so I can read it. I think this is nice and easy for you to share on your screen while they're maybe watching and participating on their own screens. There's also more controls now. So I can control the volume. I have way more themes than I used to, and I can also pause in between each question. Now, pausing in between each question is a feature that you need to turn on when you turn on your time to climb. So make sure you do that in advance, but you're going to see that feature in this time to climb that we're going to do together. So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump in and get started. Okay, so right here, you're seeing some of my time to climb controls as the teacher. So I have the Himalaya Mountains, which was our original one. I've got the beach, a carnival, a sports theme, a space theme. We'll go with sports today because that's kind of fun. I can randomize my answers. This is my pause between questions option, and I can play the sound on all of your devices. So if you hate the time to climb music, you're over it because it's the end of the school year, you're going to want to turn your volume down. But we'll go ahead and get started here, and we'll wait for you to join. Looks like we've got a couple of you joining. There's also, depending on which theme you choose, there we go. There's some new characters. I love the new characters. And our tried and true original characters are still part of the mix also. Looks like we have 10 of you who have joined this morning. I'll give you just another few seconds if you want to join. If you're just sitting back and watching us play, that's okay also. Okay, looks like we're ready. We're going to start our game. Okay, so your question's up on my screen. If you're watching my screen, this is the new dashboard for teachers. I can show names. Looks like all of you are doing a great job so far on your time to climb answers. And I've got my countdown up here in the corner. And the time to climb is now paused. So do you see that as well? So when the time to climb is paused, it's paused automatically for 10 seconds. And when I am ready, it kind of like gives me that countdown. So I know as a teacher, like how long we've been here, but then I have to physically hit this button to advance. So it's not going to automatically advance for me when I am doing pause between each question. So we're counting down 3 seconds till we go again. It's only a 3-question time to climb. So if your brain's not quite ready yet this morning, haven't gotten up to speed, coffee hasn't kicked in, it's all good. You still do have the option of choosing how long they get to participate or have to answer each question. So that's still an option for you. I'm counting down here. I've got 3 seconds left, and then it's going to pause. And here's my next question button when I'm ready to go. So you guys are so smart. I don't even need to go over these questions with you. You're doing so well. Should we take a sneak peek at who's winning so far though? Our leader is Kimberly Hawks. If you think you're getting close, you got to beat Kimberly. Next question, last chance, guys. She's quick, people. She's really quick. I think she might have gotten us this time. So also, just to note, this time to climb, I didn't create it on my own. I found it in Nearpod and I just added it into my deck. So lots of pre-made time to climbs still available in Nearpod, and you can edit and modify them. I'm guessing this probably had 8 to 10 questions when it started. I just chose 3 and deleted the rest. So make sure that you, look over that content that we have available. And I don't know that I mentioned this, but you can now have multiple answers in one question. So in this one, as you can see, there were 2 right answers. Oh, is there a way to show the time to climb when you're in teacher mode? Oh, let's show our names here real fast. Kimberly did win. Congratulations there. Looks like Alicia Kirby was right there. So close. And okay, going back to if we can show the teacher view when we're in time to climb, we cannot, unfortunately. So I'll start this over for you just so you can kind of see the dashboard. You're all going to look like you're starting again. I'll wait till one person's in and then I'll try to start the game, but you don't have that teacher preview option up here at the top. So we're not playing again, but just so you can see, unfortunately, I don't have that teacher menu up here. So on the time to climb, if you wanted to show that on the screen, then you would have to be logged in as a, let's turn that volume off. You would need to be logged in as a student in order to show that teacher view. Okay, so next up here is the Collaborate board. So the Collaborate board has always been one of my favorites, but I felt like it was always just missing a little bit. Like there was always opportunity with it. And it was one of the first features that Nearpod had. And so I'm so glad that they decided to take a second look at the Collaborate board. The Collaborate board now allows students to respond to other posts. You can turn that on and off. So they don't have to respond to, you don't have to allow them to respond to each other. You can't get rid of allowing them to like, though. That's one thing I wish that we could do is take off that liking feature. But I think allowing them to respond to each other's posts is a great way to teach digital citizenship and posting online in a more controlled environment. So I'm glad that they added that. They also added a lot of fun backgrounds, which is nice for our kiddos. And they added columns. So if you loved columns in Padlet, now you can add columns to our Collaborate board. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this one and you can participate in this Collaborate board. So just a little heads up about how this works. So it has columns here. You're still posting the same way down here at the bottom. So we're still going to share our thoughts. Something fun I'm doing this summer is I'm hiking the Grand Canyon. So I'm going to type that. I have options of adding pictures, videos, audio, or GIFs, because our kids love that. And then to put it in the correct column, I just click on this little drop-down menu at the end of the bar at the bottom, and I can select which column I post in. So if I'm posting in something fun, then I click on something fun and I post using the little airplane. I can type and add an image. So if I click here and I want to add a picture of the Grand Canyon, then I can do that. We'll just grab this one right here. And now my post will say hiking the Grand Canyon with a picture, and I'm putting that under something fun. If I wanted to post it under educational or one of the other columns, then I can just select a column there and post under one of the others. So go ahead if you want to add something to our columns, that would be great. Fun GIFs to look for. If I just click on that, maybe I like watermelon in the summertime. Let's see if there are any watermelon GIFs out there. Looks like maybe there are a few. We'll go with this little guy bouncing around. And then just don't forget to switch to the column where you want to post. And then also try out writing a comment on someone else's. I can show and hide student names again, as I mentioned. So we'll hide names there. Ooh, got someone working on a master's degree. Okay, we're all adults here. Kimberly's working on her master's degree. Way to go. Reading a good book. I love to read in the summertime. Nothing better than sitting on the porch with a book, right? ISTE. Looks like there's some Davis folks going to ISTE in New Orleans this summer. Flaming Gorge, going boating, fruit bars. Love that idea. So I think that this new addition to columns, great for sorting, great for, having students do, more than one idea about content. Maybe it's character setting and plot about a book that we're adding. Just a great way to organize using the collaborate board versus how, our options before. So we do have some student options up here at the top. Students can see names, students can edit responses. I can turn these things on or off on the fly. If I want to approve student posts, then I can turn that on and off on the fly as well. And approving student comments. So if I approve their post, I also have to then say, that I need to approve their comments if that's what I want. To move from column to column, I think that you can. You'd have to try that out. Let's see. I think here I'm the teacher and maybe I can't move it. I bet I would have to delete it and try it again because my options are delete, edit, or delete. Oh, I bet right there in edit, you can probably edit and move it to a different column. Let's try that. Yep, there we go. So not sure if I'm the only one that can edit. Hopefully you guys can edit as well and move yours around. Yeah, a couple of cool, perfect. It let you edit and move your own. Great. Yeah, fun way to move. I can also oldest to newest, most likes, names A to Z as my options for viewing each column, each post in a column. Okay, so live to student paste. I think this is a game changer for when we're teaching and we would like to give the students some opportunity to just work at their own pace for a minute while maybe we are working with a small group of students. So how this works, I go to the slide where I'm ready to turn on live to student pace. So you have to start in a live lesson, but then down here in the bottom right-hand corner, it says student pace off. If I click on that, then I'm on slide 20 run right now. And I want you guys to be able to work on your own from slide 21. Ooh, I should probably look. Slide 21 will go to slide, I think that's 25. So I'm going to say from slide 21 to 25, you get to work at your own pace. And I click turn on. Okay, so it gives me a message just telling me student pace is on. Now you have arrows on both sides of your screen like you were in student paced mode. So now you can move back and forth in the lesson within those slides. So great feature if you've broken them out into groups and you've set up something in your Nearpod that you want them to work on, but you don't want them to go past a certain point. You don't want them to finish the lesson. You just want them to work within your restraint. Great option if something happens and on the fly, you need to let them work on the Nearpod on their own while you take care of maybe an emergency or something in the class. Great option if you want to work with a small group on maybe this activity, maybe an activity that you already completed. Maybe you had a poll and some students said, hey, like, I don't really get this. Great opportunity for you to say, okay, we're going to work together. This group, bring your laptops over here. The other group, you can work ahead to slide 25. So one feature I will show you in doing this. So here's our little VR field trip right here. If you haven't used that lately, but when you get to the slide where it's done, it will say in your little slide deck at the bottom, end of student paced. As the teacher, you want to put yourself on this screen before you turn off live to student pace, or else it's going to jump you clear back to slide 21. And then you have to go and find where you wanted to end. So just a little tip here, when you're ready to turn it off, it says start of student pace was right here. The end of student pace is on this one. We're just going to click on this slide so that we're on slide 25, and then we're going to click turn off. Okay, now wherever you were in those slides, you should now be on slide 21 with us. So cool new feature, live to student paste. Okay, any questions so far? We're about halfway through what we've got going on. I do see some questions that have popped up in the chat, so thanks for that. But if you're more comfortable just turning on your mic and asking a question, go for it. Any questions real quick? Awesome. Okay, next feature then is drag and drop activity. So this is a new activity that was added probably the start of the school year, maybe. In this activity, we're going to take our image bank over here on the left-hand side, and we're going to drag and drop to the background on the right. So again, right now I'm in student mode, so I can drag and drop these. You guys don't even know what these are. It's been too long. Pretty sure this one's the sun. That looks awfully large. Probably Earth, but I can drag and drop. So other cool thing with the drag and drop activity, I have all of my draw it features down here at the bottom. So maybe I want them to drag the images, but then I want them to add some text about each one. So I can add text here underneath, underneath Earth. So I may be adding maybe it's not text, maybe it's some facts that I'm going to add here. And if you noticed, I can make my text larger and smaller using this little drag icon next to the text colors. And I can also change those colors if I'm not being able to see it. So when I look here at my teacher dashboard, I can see lots of you know the planets in our solar system way better than I do. So good for you on that one. Also, something I want to show you in the student paste mode here is the immersive reader. So the immersive reader pops up here in the right-hand corner, sometimes in the left-hand corner. But if you create any activity, activity meaning the polls, the quizzes, the drag and drops, the draws, any of those activities in Nearpod will automatically be read. So our instructions will all be read. The the immersive reader cannot read an image. So it's not going to read anything like Comet or Jupiter or Mars on the background, but it will read the instructions here. So great feature. I will show you a little bit more about the immersive reader on a slide where it will read a little more than just the instructions. Another drag and drop here, this one is using text. So when you set up your drag and drop, you can choose to just type text in, which is what this one is, or you can choose to add images. So which is what the last one was. Some of these are both of these are pre-made in the Nearpod library, but you can set up your own. There are a few column options that are pre-built if you just, want them to sort using columns, but you can also upload any of your own backgrounds into the drag and drop and make it as custom as you would like. You can't do images and text together, but we all know if you draw text and then you do a little screenshot of it, you can now have text and images together. So that's kind of our workaround if you want text and images in the same drag and drop. So I'm going to test something here because I'm not 100% sure. Yes, it's just going to play the question, or the immersive reader is only going to work on the question or the instructions on this slide. I was curious if it would read these little side ones, but it doesn't look like it does. Also in the drag and drop, I can choose to use this one time or multiple times. So if you noticed on the solar system, once you dropped an image, it was gone. It's because that was set up for you to only be able to use each image one time. In this drag and drop, you can use them multiple times. So I can put my little brother was interrupting me on every single one if I wanted to. Once I've dropped it, if I don't want it there anymore, I just click here on the trash can and they go away. Also, again, your drop features down here at the bottom. So love the new drag and drop. I think this is super cool addition so that we don't need to use our own, Google tools to insert this anymore. It's right there for us. And there's tons of these that are already made, but super simple to make your own. Suggestion would be gather all of your pieces first. So make sure you have your background, make sure you know what images you want to use, put them all in a folder, and then create your drag and drop after you have all of your resources gathered. Okay, just to click over here onto student view, see how you guys did. Looks like we have some English geniuses here in our group this morning. Again, I can share, so I could share this with the whole class if I wanted to. Awesome. Back to my student dashboard. Love that feature. Okay, so updating the slides editor. If you love to create in Nearpod, but that slides editor was a little lackluster, they've updated it. So that's a great feature. And I'll show you that real quick. But I wanted to also show you the immersive reader. So if you build in the new Nearpod slides editor, it will read all of your slides. Okay, it will read all of your text slides if they're built in the Nearpod editor. If you build in PowerPoint or you build in Google Slides, and then you use the upload feature to upload those slides into Nearpod, it essentially is taking a screenshot of that slide. It becomes an image. So it's no longer able to read your slides with the immersive reader. But if you use the slides editor in Nearpod or you use the Google add-on, then it will read your text slides. So the immersive reader bumped over here to the left-hand corner this time. I'm just on a text slide, but it's going to read it to me still. So here's the number on the slide. Here's the text that was on the slide. The UEN logo in the corner, image won't read that. So features here, if I need the immersive reader to read maybe in Spanish or in French, maybe in German, if I teach German or I have a student who would benefit from that, I have tons of options here to translate. So if I do Spanish, Latin American, and I say the whole document, there it is translated. I can play it so I can hear it. It's going to start up here with the 06. So it can read to me. I can change my text preference, the color, the size of the text. I have where I can turn on for the immersive reader to highlight my nouns in one color, my verbs in another color. For different parts of speech, I can add my syllables. If my students are having a hard time sounding out words, then they can add syllables. Also, if you have young readers, syllables might be really helpful for them. So some great features here in the immersive reader that you might want to check out. To get out of the immersive reader, we have up here at the top Spanish and then the original for them to go back and forth. I think another cool feature if you teach a foreign language. But to get out of the immersive reader, we just click this back arrow and we're back to our original slide. Okay, so something just kind of in addition to the slides editor that I'll show you here in a second. So the slides editor, I'm going to actually jump into my Nearpod library to show this to you real quick. I'm just going to create a new lesson here. And when I click here on add content and activities, here's the new slide editor. This slides classic, that's going away, just so you know. But here's the new one, the new slide editor. It looks a ton like Google Slides. And I decided to test it out. I created an entire lesson using the new slides editor. Learning curve was pretty short. So I like that. One thing I did notice though, if you start uploading your background, so here's my background image. So maybe you can choose a background image of your own or a background color. Maybe I have a screenshot of a background image that I want to use. If I upload my background image here, then don't choose the themes over here because if I like have a background image on one slide and I get it all nice and pretty, and then I click and use this title slide instead, it wanted me to use this theme everywhere. So it was changing all of my stuff. Now, I will admit, this was a couple of months ago. Maybe they've fixed that. I'm not 100% sure, but if it were me, I would stick with either uploading my background every time or using a theme, but not trying to do both. But so easy. So I have my different layouts, kind of just like Google Slides. I have text where I can add text elsewhere though. So now I can just, if I want text up here in the corner and maybe I want an image over here on the side, we all like, well, maybe we don't all like dogs, but I like dogs. So we'll add an image of a dog over here. Then, we got an error. Let's try a different image. Clint loves dogs. Good. I was going to choose cats because maybe, maybe we have some cat people. Oh, this is my kind of kitty right here. We would be friends. Just teasing. But okay, so I can move my little cat here. If I had a video and I wanted to add a video, I can search here on YouTube, and I could add a video as well to the same slide. So much more flexibility than we used to have in building in, come on, little guy. Whoop, we're turning and we're not moving. Why aren't we moving? Let's try. Okay, well, we can usually move. He didn't want to move today, but lots more options than we used to have in our slides editor than we used to. So love that if you love to build in Nearpod versus building somewhere else. Still a huge fan of the Google add-on, but there are some benefits to building in directly in Nearpod. Okay, so this one's a little bit older, but I thought I would add it because I'm always surprised at how many people don't know about the interactive video feature, and I love it. I think this is awesome. If you are an Edpuzzle fan, then you will love the new interactive video. So I'm going to just show you an interactive video, and then I'll do a quick little tutorial on how to do it because it's so quick and easy. I love it. So this video, again, so much content already in Nearpod. I just grabbed this video. I didn't alter it at all, but you can. So on your screen now, you're going to see, I'm going to let you play this on your own because you're all at your own homes. If we were in my classroom together, I would probably use the teacher play feature, and then your students will still have their questions appear on their own screens for them to answer. But that way, you don't, unless they have headphones, you don't have to listen to 25, little players on their own. So I am going to allow you to play this on your own though. And when you get to the questions, there's two of them. There's one at the beginning and one at the end. Then it's just going to stop and you're going to answer your question. And then you're going to move along to the next one. Okay, so I'll give you, I think this video is about 2 minutes. Try to count down. I'll give you 2 minutes to watch the video and answer some questions. Okay, that seemed like about the longest 2 minutes of my life, which is why teacher time is a thing, right? When we tell our students, I'll give you 30 seconds or I'll give you a minute. And pretty soon it's like shortened to 15 seconds because teacher time is long. Teacher time also goes the other way though, right? So 2 minutes turns into 10. So interactive video features. So you hopefully all had a chance to watch and interact with this on your own. And when I click on my teacher end, I was on my student dashboard, right? But on my teacher dashboard, when I click on the question, now I can see your little answers here. So if I click down here on the other one, looks like no one answered that one. Maybe I didn't give you enough time, but you get the idea. So other cool thing, these questions, the answers would show up in your report. So awesome that way. And it shows up in your SpeedGrader report. So love that feature. So real quick, how we build this on our own. So if I am in a Nearpod lesson, and this works in the Google add-on also, I'm just going to click here on video, and it's going to open up this little video option. I can add questions to a YouTube video. So I can pull a YouTube video straight in from YouTube. I can add questions from my own videos. If I have a video saved on my hard drive and I want to upload it into Nearpod, I can do that. I can also, my videos from my video library on Nearpod, or I can upload a video from my own. So tons of videos that you can grab right off of the Nearpod library. You can change the questions that are already in there. So let's say that I find this video. Same with the a video from YouTube though too. So maybe I don't like this question. I like the video, but I don't like the question. So I can just hover over it. I click here on edit. It's going to ask, how do you want to edit this question? I edit it and I click save. I can also delete the activity. So if I decide like, hey, this question is not for me, I go back in here to edit and I just click on delete and it will delete that question for me. Okay. I can also trim the video from the beginning or the end. So if I click here on trim, I can shorten a video down if I don't need the whole video from one side or from the other side. If I want to add an activity, let's say I pulled in a YouTube video, doesn't have any activities at all. I click on where I want the activity to be. So maybe I want it right here. And then I click on add activity. Oh, we're still trimming. Sorry, cancel out a trim. So I'm going to slide my cursor where I want to add an activity, click on the blue button, add activity. My options are open-ended question or a multiple choice question. Okay, so only 2 questions that I can add, but I click there on add activity. I type in my question. And then I just click here on save. And now I have my own question amongst the others. If I want to get rid of this one, again, edit, delete activity. Yes, delete. And then I just save it and it's ready to go. I can play this video within a lesson by pulling it into my lesson, or I can just play this as a standalone front of the class kind of an activity if I wanted to. So now here's my video ready to go.
Jamie?
Yes.
Do the questions work in Immersive Reader on the videos?
Ooh, that's a fabulous question. Let's find out, because
the last time we tried it didn't.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that my lower grade teachers are hesitant to use this particular thing for, because they love the videos, but Edpuzzle does read the questions loud.
Yeah. And you know what? It looks like it probably doesn't. If you didn't see it, I didn't see it, but we could always try it again.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. We tried this year and we weren't able to get that to work. So
yeah, you know what? That's a great suggestion feature for sure. So I would definitely suggest that to Nearpod. You can suggest on, why can't I think of the name of their suggestion website right now? Oh, Andrea says it works for the question. Huh, let's try this and see if we can get it to work. Let me back up a little bit.
Today, we're going to talk about
volume down. Okay, there's my student view. I don't see, Andrea, if maybe you could help us out here, because I'm not seeing my immersive reader pop up for me anywhere. Does anyone know?
I'm seeing it in the corner of mine, which is interesting because I'm not seeing it in the corner of yours.
Okay, so Andrea says in student mode, at least she's on the iPad app. Okay, it worked for Cami. Well, then I'm not seeing it on mine. Maybe it's because I'm in the teacher mode and it's just giving me like a preview of the student mode. But that's really good to know that a lot of you are seeing the immersive reader on the question.
That
Are
is
all,
good to
and I'm
know,
guessing,
'cause that's the one thing that they were like, oh, it doesn't read it to them.
okay, so those of you that are seeing it, are you on the app or are you on your desktops, just like I am? Okay, Emily's on a desktop.
It
Most of
didn't
them are.
show up this last time, but when I went through the first time, I didn't notice it. So
That's really interesting. I'm glad to know that because obviously I'm always, kind of on the teacher mode here. And so I'm not seeing it, but I'm really glad to know that you guys are seeing it when it pops up on your question. So very cool. And hopefully, I think that's Alicia who's talking. Hopefully you can find that on yours and let your teachers know about that. Awesome. Okay, so last but not least here is just so much content. Nearpod has added 500 new drag and drops, over 5,000 new standard aligned videos, and 700 new lessons. And this was back in February when they had done this update. So they always add more content over the summer. So I would just keep an eye out for that. And hopefully then you can just edit and make some changes to some already made resources that are out there. And because we have our Utah contract, we are Premium Plus users. So we have access to so much stuff. And as a reminder, you should also have those 3 additional lesson packs: the digital citizenship, the college and career readiness, and the social and emotional learning, which just gives you even more content. So don't forget about that content as you're maybe building this summer. One thing that we're looking forward to that's been pushed back a couple of times now, I thought it was going to be out already earlier this year and it hasn't, but they are working on updating the post-session reports. So you should see probably over the summer, definitely by the first of the year, some new session reports that will give you some more insights into how well your students are doing. Hopefully by each student, if they're logging in using like their Clever or their ClassLink, their Google sign in, so they're logging in as the same student over and over again, hopefully you'll be able to see more and more of that personalized kind of student-based reporting, which I think would be great. If you have students on IEPs, I think that would be a game changer. So keep an eye out for those post-session reports, hopefully coming this summer. Thought they would be here already. So
Jamie,
yeah.
will Granite have the ability for students to log in with Google this coming year?
You know what? That's up to Granite. So we don't control how they set up their settings to allow their students to log in. A lot of the schools are using like Clever or ClassLink to log in. You would have to probably, and I can reach out and ask Granite what their thoughts are on that. But
I think we are, but I'm like, please.
I know. Yeah, it makes it so much easier, especially for your younger kids, to just be able to hit that Clever link and get logged in. There's also something it's been around for a little while. I don't promote it very often, but some of your districts might have it turned on, might not. And that is student accounts. So student accounts is a way that students log in as well. They can save all of their information on their own dashboard. They can save their lessons and go back to them. The problem is there's been, some glitchiness with it. And so most districts have held off on even looking at it. But hopefully maybe this summer, some of them will take a second look. I will be taking a second look this summer also and trying to get some information out to everyone if I feel like it's at a point where, we could be using this across the board. So definitely an easier way to log in, but your students also have to log in every time to access their dashboard. Okay, so just a reminder of the other summer series sessions that are coming. You can get certificate credit for each of these. So this next one, what is Nearpod? This join the Zoom link, you're actually going to register for these next 3. So these next 3 sessions will be hosted by Nearpod. Some of their trainers are coming in to do this, and they would like you to register. It takes 2 seconds. So if you register the morning of, totally will work just the same. But just a little heads up, you could go in and register for all 3 of those now. And if you like this format of having some Nearpod sessions over the summer, make sure you let us know so that we can, plan this throughout the year as well. Last but not least, if you want credit, make sure you fill out the credit form and just select this first session, What's New in Nearpod. We will send you a certificate for each of the sessions that you attend. So at the end of each session, you'll see the same little form and just select the session you came to, and we'll make sure you get you some certificate credit.
Hey, Jamie,
Yes.
is it possible to get a copy of this Nearpod lesson? Sorry, I can't even speak this morning.
Yeah, of course. I would love to give that to you. So how about fill out this form and I will send it to everyone who fills out the form. I'll just grab your email address off of here and I'll send you the link to that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so last here, oh, you know what? I probably just, hopefully you all opened that before I just shot you all past it. Hopefully it's open in another window. So last here on the list is just PDF resources. So you can hit this little download button, download all of these resources if you'd like to. Just some of the content from this presentation, the new information from Nearpod about the dashboard, the time to climb the Collaborate board. Some of those are tutorials, some of those are just information. But yeah, just some resources for you there.
Okay, can you go back to the form?
Yep. I was just going to go back to your form.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay, here's your form. I need to move that to the very, very end next time. But we have just a few minutes left. If you don't have any questions, go ahead and leave us today. I appreciate you joining. Those of you that could be here, please share the summer series with your teachers. Let them know about this resource. I will be putting a recording of this on the Utah Nearpod community website, and I'm sure UEN will have it out on their website somewhere as well. So you can grab that and share it with your teachers also. Otherwise, thanks for joining. Make sure you fill out the form.